Hello again, I'm Corey Amsler, and welcome to another segment of 100 Years, 100 Objects, a Mercer Centennial Moment. Museum founder Henry Mercer's paternal ancestors first settled down in Maryland and Virginia, but on his mother's side, his forebears were actually among this area's earliest Quaker settlers. Mercer's great-great-great-great-grandfather, John Chapman, brought his family to settle in Wrightstown, Bucks County in 1684. One of John Chapman's children was Anne, born in Yorkshire, England in 1676, before the family immigrated to Pennsylvania. When she reached adulthood here, Anne decided to adopt the role of a traveling lay minister or preacher among the Quakers. This cane with its, or walking stick with its wooden shaft, its ivory head and silver mount belonged to her. It bears her initials AC and the date 1711. Quakers were virtually alone among all of the religious groups in early America in the 17th and 18th century in allowing women to serve and to travel as ministers, or as they were called among the Quakers, public friends. While opposition in the New England colonies led to repression and even martyrdom for some Quaker women in the 17th century, like Mary Dyer, who was hung in 1660, the practice eventually gained wider acceptance, even in New England and certainly here in the mid-Atlantic colonies by the end of the 17th century. In fact, by the turn of the 18th century, when Anne Chapman began her ministry, the custom of Quaker women traveling long distances, accompanied by other women or even accompanied by men, not their husbands, for the purpose of visiting meetings, for the purposes of preaching and ministering, had become relatively common. Such women ministers became a relatively familiar sight as they shuttled between meetings, traveled through the colonies, and even crossed the Atlantic to the British Isles. These women had considerable autonomy in making decisions, in determining their own fitness for the lay ministry, first of all, and in making decisions about the need, the frequency of travel to visit distant meetings. During her ministry, Anne Chapman traveled throughout New England, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Virginia, Maryland, and across the Atlantic to England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. In 1717, at the age of 41, she married a fellow Quaker, John Parsons, although apparently even after marriage she continued her travels and continued her ministry. It was said of Anne Chapman that she appeared a plain and innocent woman truly concerned for the prosperity of truth everywhere. It's easy to picture her exhorting her fellow Quakers and reminding friends of the good and productive use of their time here on earth, all while accompanied by this walking stick, perhaps even using it to punctuate her sermons. Shortly before her death in 1732, she's supposed to have remarked, "I have traveled a pretty deal in my time." No doubt this cane was a frequent companion on those many travels. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Corey Amsler. This has been another Mercer Centennial Minute.